Welcome to the Straight Out of Home Video podcast, part of the Geeky Waffle Network. Today we're talking about Tinkerbell and the Secret of the Wings. I'm Candace, and with me are my co-hosts, Bri.
Hi.
And Vanessa.
Hey.
Okay, so we are on our third or fourth, I do not remember.
I don't know. Has it been infinite at this point?
Well, yeah, but I somehow do know this. It is our fourth.
Okay, it's our fourth one. Okay, good. We're getting to the end. We're halfway there, y'all. Okay, so the summary is: curiosity gets the better of Tinkerbell while she is guiding some furry friends to the winter woods to hibernate. The frozen paradise is off limits to Pixie Hollow's winged residents, but that doesn't stop her from fluttering on over.
So, first of all, curiosity gets the better of her. Surprise, surprise. That's kind of the setup for every single movie so far.
She just breaks all the rules and ends up like endangering all of fairydom.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
also, she didn't get curious because she was leading the animals. That was part of the whole plan. She was like, "Oh, I can go over into Winterworld if I help Fawn with the animals."
Yeah, she's very manipulative.
Mm-hmm. Tinkerbell is very selfish. She only thinks about herself.
Okay, so we learn a little bit more about fairies in this one. That's why I was like, Bri's got to be on this one. Because Tink goes over and her wings start sparkling. And she decides to hide out in a basket that the snowy owls deliver water so they get more snowflakes. Oh my God. This is insane.
It doesn't honestly make that much sense unless... Well, I mean, should we just go into spoiler alerts at this point? By this point, you should know we're going to talk about the movie.
By this point in the podcast, like, we're 30 episodes in. We, at least maybe more than that, and we spoil everything. But yeah, so I think it's also in the trailers. Tinkerbell has a sister, a twin sister. They were born of the same baby's laughed.
Which was really funny because it was like, okay, what's the science behind this? Also, what's the science behind the sparkly wings? Because it doesn't follow a set like pattern. The first time they were pretty much nowhere near each other and they started sparkling, and then the second time it was they were kind of near each other, but the thing is that every time they're near each other they don't automatically sparkle. Sometimes they're near each other, but then they have to like touch them together and then they sparkle. And also, why just because they're sisters and they have identical wings do they sparkle? This is very confusing to me.
Well, the keeper didn't even see sparkly wings until he saw them in person.
Yeah,
so
no, that's
I don't even know how
he
went off on knowing that there were sparkly wings.
Oh no,
in the first place?
No, see, that is fine to me because, you know, there's always lore about stuff. Yeah, and he knows like he's the keeper of fairy,
but how did that lore get discovered? Was it just like a rumor that he put in?
Well, yeah, because obviously it's happened before, but this is just like so incredibly rare is what it sounds like.
That he's never seen it.
Yeah, that he's never seen it. And so that didn't bother me, but just the whole science
Vanessa,
behind it did.
Remember, though, Periwinkle said that she was there to also see the animals cross, but they never saw each other.
No,
that must mean they're still far away, though, if they couldn't see each other.
Because because like Tinkerbell probably, and they might, you know, like she might have been on her way there and then just didn't get there in time, or she was watching but then like left before Tinkerbell actually tried to cross, kind of situation.
Well, we also didn't see Sled, who was there to greet the animals. So, who knows where they're.
Sled, played by Matt Lautner, who voices Anakin in the Clone Wars.
Yep. Also, my God, they made him attractive for a fairy.
Oh my God, Bri.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sled is cute.
Well, they definitely emphasize that. It's like, yeah, this is supposed to be an attractive fairy, especially since like Rosetta basically just completely
loses her legs.
Mind.
She's not able to walk because
it was so funny because I didn't realize, you know, until I was looking up the cast, but it's played this time instead of by Kristen Chenoweth, it's played by Megan Hilty.
Yeah,
and Megan Hilty also played Glenda.
She sounds so much like her.
Following Kristen's footsteps.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, I guess if you're gonna get somebody to replace Kristen Chenoweth, it might as well be Megan Hilty, and I think she did a great job.
I didn't even know it wasn't Kristen Chenoweth.
Okay, so Tinkerbell's sister is played by Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars. And kind of like, I don't know if this is ironic or not, but in the pilot of the remake in the 2000s, Bionic Woman, Mae Whitman, who plays Tinkerbell, was originally cast as this younger sister. But when the series was picked up, Lucy Hale replaced her.
Weird.
I don't think they cast going, hey, you know what?
Yeah, be like, hey, here's some trivia for us. Also, blew my mind when I looked at IMDb at the end. Timothy Dalton.
Oh my god! No, I was just about to say. I'm like, speaking of voice actors or actors you did not expect in this, but I had to look him up like toward the beginning because when he started speaking, I'm like, I feel like
I know that
this.
voice.
Yeah, and so I was like, Timothy Dalton.
Is it bad that I looked that up because I was like, is that Idris Elba? And I looked it up and I was like, that's not Idris Elba.
That sounds nothing like Idris Elba.
I don't know why in my head I was like, that kind of sounds like Idris.
Oh my goodness.
Just not every British person's the same person, Bri.
I know that, but I guess I'm bad at picking up voices. I don't know.
But yeah, Timothy freaking Dalton, James Bond, is in this movie. This Disney straight-to-home video movie.
You know what?
And I mean, we also I mean, I don't know if you guys like, but it's just totally obvious what the storyline is as soon as they, see each other, him and
the
Queen.
Queen.
Queen Clarion.
100%.
And also, here's, okay, but like, I understand that, alright, so here's the thing. Again, this is a whole science thing, but their wings are identical, right? And I understand that they have grown up
back to the identical wings now.
Well, yeah. So they grew up in separate, like one cold, one hot climate. I get that, like you're gonna kind of adapt to it, but the DNA of your wings, I don't think would change, and that seems like what happens because otherwise they're. Like, I just don't know. I thought that was going to come up at one point.
Well, no. I think they just adapted, like,
Yeah, but
it's like you and I moved to Florida and, like, we adapted to Florida weather.
That takes generations, though.
Not even a year for Tinkerbell because she is still learning about, like, what they do in winter. So
yeah.
she's learning, and so that means that Periwinkle can't be that old either.
Yeah, and like also that kind of thing where it would literally just completely destroy you. That would take generations. I mean, it's like the whole the what was it, the kind of bird in they grew up on like different types of the different sides of the thing, and so like they develop different characteristics, but over like a long period of time.
Okay, but Vanessa, magic.
I think you're looking very deep into this, Vanessa. Like way more deep
than I think the writers were looking into this.
Like you're putting on your lab coat and trying to solve this.
No,
like Jack
Skellington. The thing is, like, Christmas. I love world building, and I actually thought it was pretty interesting. This one was kind of cute. Like I liked it. But
except Vanessa, if you remember the first movie, which I do not, but apparently according to people online. The first film shows winter fairies are together with the other fairies and the other talents.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so it's a little weird.
Well, it's because they're like, oh, we need to add this lore. Well, no one's going to really look into it. That's what they were hoping for.
Yeah, they didn't think people were going to do a podcast on it.
Well, the only thing that I can think of is that, they don't really actually like kind of like they're not born as like their full fairy self until they land in wherever they land. So I guess maybe that could be part of it. Like you don't actually fully, like develop until you like sprout from wherever that plant or whatever. So maybe just like depending on where they land, their wings like are formed in whatever climate, even though they're identical, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's the only way I can accept this.
Well, I think it would make sense if they could, like, if they were born in the same wing, that they could have. Well, no, because if they were born in two different places, they would adapt to.
Yeah,
the
but
Kiki Waffle, where you find all your fairy reproduction and autonomy.
no, but that's the way that I can accept it. Like, it would be like a fingerprint, like all the grooves are the same, but the actual, like, for some reason, like, wherever they're born, their wings like have the adaptive properties of whatever climate they're in.
Well, I would think so, because if you were born in summer, you grow up with that, like then you're born of a summer fairy, because even if they were born from the same laugh, they broke off separately. So I think you were right when you said that statement. They weren't fully grown fairies. Like, they're not developed yet until they land, right?
Yeah, there was like some magic that happened, because we
Yeah.
see when Tinkerbell and her sister put their wings together, we see a flashback of the baby laughing and the
Mhm.
laughter of the fairy going and splitting apart. And then we see that split apart go two different places.
Yeah.
It's also like when in the first film, when Tinkerbell has to pick her like her calling as a tinker, so
Yeah, her talent.
and didn't she just got born that day, right?
Yeah, she was born that day. That was a ceremony.
Right.
It's like
So
they go hello and they're like born.
touchdown. So automatically, if she touched down and already has to pick a talent, then she's already technically adapted to that area, correct?
Yeah, because they have to pick talents that have to deal with their land.
Yeah,
and
it's
also,
immediate. It's immediate once they come out. But I'm just saying that, like, maybe it's just like they wait till they land for the wings to just be like, oh, like this is.
Well, I
this is
think
the
the only
climate.
thing with the wings is that they have a matching set. I don't think like their wing DNA really plays into the fact of their surroundings.
I'm sorry, we're going too deep.
What I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you, though. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that the actual adaptive properties of the wings are formed when they land in whatever climate they're in, and they come out of their flower thing.
Okay, I just had to process what you said. That's
right,
I had to like break it down for myself.
But like the actual wings, as far as like again, like a fingerprint, like have the same. But I mean, like no, there's no two same fingerprints. But that's what I'm saying is like they have the same grooves and the same, like that kind of thing. That's what I mean.
Also, they have like different hair color, different skin color.
Yeah.
So that's also something that changed when they separated and were born in different lands.
Yep, apparently.
Which doesn't make sense because not everyone in the winter land has like white hair, because clearly Sled, he's tall, dark, and handsome with
and
Spike hair.
He's not that tall, Bri. He's a fairy.
Well, also, Spike has black hair.
Yeah.
Spike played by Debby Ryan. I was like, I thought she was somewhere else for a second, but I looked it up. I was like, yep, got the Disney people in there. So can we talk about, apparently fairies do have boyfriend and girlfriends.
Oh yeah, and then I notice how they very much kind of like, tried to like get away from that as far as like Tink having to answer. She's like,
yeah, because Periwinkle asked if Terrence is her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Terrence, again, not a single line in this movie, just one shot of him.
I know, but apparently he spoke at least once because he's in the credits.
Is he? Because I do not remember him speaking.
I don't remember him speaking either.
He didn't.
He's in the credits.
There were some in-credit stuff. Maybe he was in one. I turned it off when I saw the first credit.
I didn't see any. Yeah, I didn't watch any past when they started the credits.
Oh no, the music started. I was like, all right, bye.
Yeah, none of us watched it. Yeah, and apparently the Lord. Oh God, Lord.
Oh,
Mallory.
Mallory.
Played by Timothy Dalton, and Queen Clarion, played by Angelica Houston, fell in love a long time ago, but they were winter and warm fairies.
Well, can we just say that they try to hide this fact and be like, these two unknown fairies fell in love.
Oh no, they didn't. They didn't
broke
really
its
though.
Wing.
I think that
I know that.
I don't think it was meant to be a secret because like it's not like they like both.
No, it was because
no, it was really obvious. Though,
I know
even
it's
the
really
way that
obvious,
told.
but I'm saying like one of the Tinkers was like, oh, so they're telling people now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
When they kissed,
they know.
No, I know that. I'm just saying like they were trying to hide it, but it's clearly very obvious.
Yeah.
But I think they were trying to keep it a secret So
I think people who were
it.
around back then knew about it.
Well, and especially since, like, if you ever ask why Lord Mallory is not flying anywhere except for on an owl, then you know.
Oh, it was so obvious.
But the reason I thought, oh, maybe they're trying to change it up, because when he tells when he talks to Periwinkle after they separate, the sisters separate, she's on that high like pedestal, and he comes up to join her. And it's like, how did you get up there, Lord Mallory, if your wing is broken?
Well, they're trying to throw you off.
I know. I was like, oh, there's going to be a twist or something.
Nope, got dropped off by the
Queen
owl.
Clarion was actually like into Sled or something. I don't know.
Well, I think anyone would be into Sled.
Oh God, Bri. Bri's been in quarantine too long.
No, but what I was just saying is, like, obviously it's very clear that they were talking about it, but like for some reason they want to keep it a secret. Like, they love a secret, you know. Ew.
That's not why. I think that it hurt them too much because they couldn't be together. I'm pretty sure that was the reason.
Yeah, they weren't. It just like it hurts to talk about. You don't know that.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like they don't want to present it as themselves.
What?
Well, they don't know these kids that well. You know, Tinkerbell and Periwinkle.
And like also it's not like they want to be like, hey, like, yeah, this happened, and then just like it's their story and they're sad about it, so they don't want to just be like, oh yeah, like this happened to me.
No,
like,
I get that. I was
like, I mean, like, it just, but you know, it is weird too, because I'm like, well, your wing is already broken, just go on over there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, no,
the damage is done.
But he didn't make the rules, she did. So she's probably like, you need to be with your people, and I need to be with mine.
No, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, because he already broke his wing, so she doesn't want his other wing to break.
No, that doesn't make any sense. The wings are done. They're just like he could like rip them all off and it'd be fine because he can't fly either way.
Is like, you need to be with your people.
No,
but it seemed like it wasn't just the wings that were an issue. Like when Periwinkle got sick, because so Tink goes to Winterland, and then she goes back, and then she goes to her Tinker friends, and they create like a snow machine, so Periwinkle can come to the mainland.
Well, not the mainland.
Not the mainland. Mainland is Earth.
Yeah.
So
Pixie Hollow.
To come to Pixie Hollow. Yes. And it ends up breaking, or they run out of ice to make into snow. And she's like, yeah, her wings she can't feel her wings, but it feels like it's like a full physical thing.
Well, I was wondering about that too, because they don't even talk about any other physical symptoms other than the wings breaking, and like I'm wondering if there was anything other than that, or if it was just because her wings started wilting, it really just started to hurt her, and she was like, "Ooh, no, I can't."
Yeah,
do this.
True. Yeah, okay. So we don't know, but okay. So Lord whatever pushes the machine into the water that is between Pixie Hollow and the Winterland, and it creates snow in the Pixie Hollow. And oh no, again, Tink fudges everything up for everyone. They're worried that like the pixie dust tree is gonna like freeze over, and there's not gonna be any more pixie dust and no more fairies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Again, she just ruins everything.
Her fault. How are you going to blame that on her?
She created the machine. She went over.
Okay, well, yes,
when
the start
they knew. So that, but that was the thing. They knew
blame the machine, like the machine going AWOL. You can't blame that on her because Lord. Well,
yeah, but but I also feel like in the end, because like that was the whole thing, was that he saw it that way too, because he was like, oh my gosh, well, we made this happen because we tried to keep you guys apart. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, that's not how this happened, because either way you would have had to figure out a way for her to go over there, and maybe they would have made the snow machine anyway. And like I was just like, don't blame yourself for her being ridiculous. I mean, like, again, I'm not saying
Tinkerbell is the root of all evil.
Well,
I think we're getting to that.
I'm not saying that, like, you know, she did. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done anything, or like there should be this rule or whatever. Like they can because obviously they can figure out a way around it because they did in the end. But like it didn't have to be this whole like surreptitious. Just like, hey, let's figure out a way to do this, but like above the books, not under the table. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, they were planning on going to see the Queen, so...
Yeah, I know, but she could have just done that first.
That's true. Yeah, they were, like, partying and playing around.
Okay, but does any... Of course, she's wanting to show her twin sister everything because, you know, just like, you know, her sister showed her in the winter.
Yes, I know that, but that's the thing is that she could have just gone to Queen Clarion and say like, "Hey, I'm thinking," because like she has
could
this
have,
whole,
but
because she has this whole idea
the wonders.
No, I know, but she could have done that if she thought. Okay, here's the thing: she thought that Queen Clarion was going to be like, "Okay, awesome, yeah, we'll lift the rule and she can come on over," and she could have done that then. She must have had some sort of reservation then that said that, you know, she thought Queen Clarion.
No, I don't think so, because here's the thing.
She's just dumb.
No. They always thought that Lord Milordy? I'm just going to call him Milordy. Yeah. So they always thought that he was the tyrant. Like, oh no, he's the one who created this rule, right? So she's thinking nothing bad's going to happen. I wouldn't
say tyrant, but okay.
You know what I mean? I kind of, you know, quote unquote, they think he's the bad guy in this scenario, right? So they think he's the bad guy. So they're like, all is handy dandy. So she's going to be like, let me show you everything. She's not a worry. If she had reservations that there was a worry, she would have gone to her first, I think. So I think, yes.
Okay, but that's the thing, is that, like, you should be worried. Your wings will die.
Yes, but
like, you've not tested out this snow machine and what you can do and for how long. You've not tested it out. So
does Tinkerbell think before she leaps? No, she leaps and then thinks. We know this about her. So obviously she's not going to worry.
There was always right, but that's what I'm saying. It was a bad idea, and she could have just gone to Queen Clarion.
I'm not arguing that it was a bad idea. I'm just saying Tinkerbell is rash in her decisions and really thought that Queen Clarion was going to be like, yo, homie, I think it's a stupid thing too. Let's go talk to him. You know what I mean? So she's like,
I know, but what I'm saying is that like, I know, but what I'm saying is that like she thought that Queen Clarion was just going to lift the rule. And so like, why not just wait the extra, like, what, hour? And
because she was excited. Tinkerbell's dumb. Tinkerbell is dumb. That's the whole point of this. She's dumb.
And then
it's true.
And then also another science thing that I'm very concerned about is, okay, so they're like, oh my gosh, it completely threw the seasons out of balance. And then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, so now there's going to be this weird freeze. First of all, the machine ran for like a really long time and only like affected one tree. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, now we're covering the whole world in like 2 seconds. How did this happen? Also, does frost really do that?
I don't know. I wish.
Vanessa, stop trying to find science in this.
I wish I was smart, Vanessa, to answer these questions that you have. I am not.
We need a meteorologist to guess on the show.
Okay, so the freeze came. What put things back into balance? I don't understand.
What stopped the freeze?
What stopped the freeze?
The frost.
No, it wasn't the frost that stopped the freeze. The frost protected the stuff from the freeze, but didn't stop the freeze.
Right,
the freeze
then it melted.
Yes, how did it melt?
The sun?
Why would it have happened if like it would already melt? Didn't make any sense.
No, Vanessa, I know it does. This whole movie doesn't make sense. You're trying to find a reason it's not even the same Tinkerbell.
It's not the same Tinkerbell. What are you talking about?
I mean, like, her whole persona really isn't the same, except that she's selfish. So, really,
no, I know that.
None of this makes sense.
Okay, but like, you're talking about all of the fairy movies, is what you're talking about.
It just, and collectively, they don't make sense.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the Disney wiki, and it's just like, the freeze leaves is what it says. The freeze just goes.
It leaves. Goodbye.
And then the sunlight was streaming through frozen branches, and ever so slowly the frost melted.
Melts. Yeah. See, the sun melted it. What I said.
Yes, but
Boom,
no, but
science.
the sun
Did
was
someone-
out when the freeze came. That's why I'm like, what the
I
fuck
know,
is going
I
on
don't
here?
know.
Did the machine stop? Like,
No, but the machine did stop. The machine did stop.
Yeah.
But not. But the thing is that the machine stopped before the freeze even started spreading.
Yeah. It's honestly, it doesn't make any sense.
I just, they needed
Winter
to
was
call
just
in
like,
some-
I'm gonna take over, and then the sun is like, oh, what's happening? Maybe the sun was on like a 5-minute break, and then there
Let's
was like,
just-
oh,
again-
hey, there's a lot of freeze over here. Maybe I should melt that.
Also, I don't know if we talked about this before, but like, what is the whole thing? Okay, so the pixie dust is what makes them fly, right? Why? Why do they need the pixie dust? Like, it just seems like
They
such
have
a
wings. Yeah.
It just seems no, but I mean, like, so here's the thing, because pixie dust makes them fly and it makes other people fly, so there's probably some sort of like gravitational kind of thing or whatever. But why? Why would you evolve like that? Where you basically need
I think
a
the
crutch in
pixie
order
dust is their magic.
That is their
and
magic,
magic keeps them alive.
No, they can't. But they can't fly without the pixie dust.
Yeah, the queen literally says, if we don't have this tree, fairies will never fly again.
Yeah, they can't.
So
fly.
Magic.
Yes, but why do they need the magic to fly? Is my? It's like saying
because
it's
they're
like
run on magic, right? That's how I interpreted it. It's like their whole being is magic. So if the magic stops, then they cease to exist.
But
it
they
doesn't
didn't
matter
say cease to
wings or
exist. No, they
I-
didn't say cease to
I
exist. They
know
said
that.
we'll never fly. It's literally the
I
source
don't know.
of their flying.
I was trying to make it sound better than it is, I guess.
That's like saying, I mean, I guess you could equate it to needing water to survive. I guess. I mean,
it would make more sense like how I interpret it, because it doesn't make sense for face value purposes.
No, I mean, I guess now that I'm thinking about it as a water type situation, it kind of makes sense, but it's just like still kind of bothers me for some reason.
Just think of it as, because remember, in the original Peter Pan, not that this has anything to do with anything, right? But when she was dying, they had a clap to bring her back to life. So maybe the powder is just like the clap. No, that was a bad sentence. I didn't mean it like how it sounded. Oh.
No, I think I'm thinking of it more as water now, and I can make sense with that. I can make peace with that.
I went to Reddit.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out, and like other people are saying it's like food for them. Like,
yeah, right.
They're so tiny, but they have to flap their wings like a hummingbird.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like the hummingbird having to get all the nectar.
Mm-hmm. True. Okay. All right. I can make peace with this now.
Okay. Wow. Vanessa went off the deep end of fairies. But apparently a lot of kids were asking this because somebody was asking on behalf of their daughters. Like, my daughter keeps asking me and I have no answer.
I don't fucking know, man. Please tell me something I can tell her.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She keeps asking. God, can you imagine trying to answer questions?
Wings, like, why can't they fly if they have wings?
Right. But we're thinking about it as like
no. I know we are. I'm just saying,
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying in general. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. We don't see them eat. We see them drink tea at least, right?
They drink tea,
Don't
but that seems more of like a pleasure thing.
Yeah, that's like chamomile tea is our celebration drink.
Yeah, that's so sad to me.
I know. Chamomile tea is when I need to calm the F down.
Exactly.
Drink.
I mean, I love chamomile tea, and I think that it should, if you love it, great. But that's not like a celebration thing. That's like, okay, I'm going to bed. Like,
yeah, it's my sleepy time. Okay, so are you guys ready to play the Rotten Tomato score with us?
Oh,
okay.
Gosh, yeah.
Okay, what do you think was the critic score?
63%.
78%.
It was 62%.
Oh wow. Okay.
Whoa.
I feel like they actually. I feel like one of the other ones was like 70-something%, and I thought this one was better than some of the other ones. So
yeah, I feel like this one was better.
Yeah,
I think
bad.
It's shorter than the other ones too.
Yeah, that's true.
The gatekeeper was kind of funny. Ooh, they're doing the smoochy smooch. I don't know.
I don't know.
He was the only one who had it. He's like, "Howdy ho."
came
The
from either.
smoochy smooch. I've never seen this before. This is how I'm sounding. I mean, he really sounded like I don't know what he sounded like.
I've
What
heard
is
that.
it?
I've heard that voice before. I just cannot
Jeff Bennett.
remember. No, not the person. I've heard that kind of like that kind of if you can call it an accent or I don't know, but like
Well,
I've
it
heard
sounds
that
like
before.
the Swedish chef. You know, the Muppet.
Yeah, no, yes, I know what you're talking
I'm just
about.
making sure.
Somebody said it was like from the Carol Burnett show. Like,
yeah, it's like the God, I'm gonna have to
Vaudevillian.
look this up later because it's bothering me. I've heard this like done before, and actually one of our friends does it sometimes as like a joke voice. So I'm gonna have to like figure out what it is.
Well, the closest. I mean, not that this is right. But remember the shopkeeper in Frozen who's like big summer blowout.
No,
It
that's
sounded
different.
like no, I know that. I'm just saying it sounds like an exaggerated version of that because then you go from the
No, to me it sounds
smoochy.
more. No, to me it sounds more like an exaggerated kind of like, and it's not this, but like more of an exaggerated like Minnesotan accent kind of situation.
Oh, well, I guess you're right because if a Minnesota accent's here
But
and
it's
then he's
not
like,
that, you
no,
know.
I know
I don't
that
know.
I'm building. So if
Yeah.
like Minnesota is here, then you have like, the smoochy is what
right,
the keeper sounds like.
what
It's a little higher.
what the trivia says on IMDb is Jeff Bennett channels Tim Conaway's Mr. Tunball from the Carol Burnett show in 1967.
Yes, but I wish I knew what
worst.
that was supposed to be though. Like what
Yeah,
accent
like,
is that supposed to
See,
be?
I can't remember what like that specific character on the Carol Burnett
me
show
either.
because I used to watch older reruns of it because I love Carol Burnett.
Huh.
It's a Romanian accent.
Romanian?
No, it is
They would
not.
say.
No. The smoochy smooch? That doesn't sound Romanian.
That
I
is
don't know
not.
what it was.
I was in Romania for 3 weeks. No way.
Okay. Let's go. What do you think the audience score was for this?
I'm gonna go again with 78%.
I'm going to play The Price is Right and go with 80%.
Okay, Vanessa is right on the money, 78%.
Nice.
Woohoo! All right.
Okay, let me just little tidbits from the critics. One person said the usual warning applies. Adults should steer clear. And then another said, this is a positive review, by the way.
Yeah.
A worthy message, quietly delivered.
What's the message?
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Or do they mean like, no one should be separated. We should all come together. Is that
Maybe.
it?
I don't know what I was
end of
supposed
the
to.
day,
Yeah,
even though we aren't alike, we are very much the same.
No, but that almost gave the opposite message. Is that we're very much alike, but we're also very different to the point that we could die if we go to each other's places. So we have to be super careful.
True. Oh, that's right. Because they had to like frost their wings when they were visiting, like when the summer fairies were going into the winter woods. But like Tinkerbell didn't need to frost her wings.
I saw some people say, "Is this a global warming message?"
Oh God, I don't think that they were thinking about that when they did this. I really don't.
Fern Gully was a global warning message, and look, no one took that into stride.
No, people did, but there's just too many people that don't.
The audience said, "The Secret of the Wing contains a beautiful animated setting built upon a plot that is too familiar but speedy and entertaining."
Why is this plot? Oh, just because like Tinkerbell's always doing this crap.
Yeah, and also it's like, sisters and, cross that great divide. Oh my God, the song played 4 times.
Oh my God.
I know.
I was furious. I'm like, okay, we freaking get it. We get it. Like, either play a different song. You can play like background music. I don't care. Stop playing this song.
I hate it. I hate
song.
Because I actually really like the just in every single one of these movies they have this kind of like Celtic background music, which I love. I actually really like that, and
great.
I think that could be in that could be in a lot of the places, and instead of this freaking song.
That song is so grating.
It's really weird because the soundtrack for this has 17 songs, but I do not think they
What?
use any.
Well, I think that one song was redone like 2 times.
Yeah.
At least, because I think one of them was a little bit more popified and the other, I don't know, but either way, I'm like, okay guys, we get it. Like I would have been fine. Like, it's not a great song, but I would have been fine with it once. No, stop.
Yeah. They had other music, they just didn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's unfortunate on their decision making.
This was a negative audience review. You'll be able to tell. Ugh. Tinkerbell deserves better than this. I can see why Disney had to buy Marvel and Lucasfilm if this is the best they can do with their older characters. Aside from being very colorful, there's not very much to this movie. It's wholesome for kids, but even kids deserve better stories pushed on them than this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't add much, you know?
Yeah, it's not...
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't add anything, but again, I think it's just one of those things where it's like you find a world that kids like and you just go with it, you know?
I can see why kids would be enchanted by it. That little bunny was really cute, the rebellious one.
Yeah, the bunny was very cute.
Yeah. I even like the weasels. Those are cute.
Also,
I like
just another
Sled.
before we but like I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned this before getting off of the cast, but Jodie Benson was the healing fairy, and she's the voice, you know, she's the voice of Ariel,
mm-hmm.
And it's just hilarious how she keeps showing up at all of these these films, and it's usually like little bit parts and stuff, which is fine. But I'm just like, man, you really made your your career from being Ariel.
I'm just thinking, do they have her like locked away in a closet and just bring her out to do these voices? Like,
maybe. It's like, hey, Jodie, we need you. Okay.
They got her on speed dial, I guess.
Yeah, I did enjoy the fact that the healing fairies really did act like people in a hospital.
Yeah. They had a waiting room.
Well, no, that they had like the nurses and the receptionists, because like, having to kind of be in that world for a little, like, it's so true. Everyone's just burnt out, and it's just like, can you guys just stop doing stupid shit so like we don't have to deal with all of this?
Yeah. It wasn't the worst one, I will say that.
It was not. It was not.
I think the last one was the worst one.
I think the last one was the worst one too.
Yeah, I think so.
I couldn't.
What even was the last one?
The one with the kid?
The father.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Terrence wasn't in that one either.
He was briefly.
Yeah, he had
briefly,
like one
but
line.
then he like dipped. It didn't. Okay. Because he goes visits other places to bring. Pixie does. So does that not include the Winter Woods?
No, the Winter has their own tree, and the High Fairy was the one who kept that one.
Okay, so definitely,
at least I think so.
They changed their own lore from the first movie.
Well, I don't remember enough about that to say yes or no.
Well, because you saw everyone working together, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Mm-mm.
But yeah, overall, not the worst. I would say kids obviously still, they do enjoy these, and I think they would enjoy this one.
It's not a bad babysitting movie. I feel like I say that about a lot of them. But I could bear it. Like, it was bearable.
Yeah, it's also a cute one, I think, like for actual, sisters. Like if you have like the little young sisters and they watch it, I think they would find it really cute.
When Candace, would you and your sister like this movie?
Maybe back in the day, but I think right now, me and my sister would like the Black Widow movie that has to deal with like sisters first trying to kill each other.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm kind of excited for the next one because the next one has Captain Hook in it, and he is played by Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, man.
Oh.
All right, well.
I'll watch anything with Tom Hiddleston in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like pirates, and I think Terrence is supposed to be in that one. I'm excited for his
I
comeback.
Googled where's Terrence in the Tinkerbell movies, and then I just got like fan fiction stuff. And I got scared because I'm not going back. not going back to the fairy fan fiction. It's not my cup of tea.
Also, I think you guys watched a trailer, or did you know they were going to be sisters going into this movie?
I feel like I knew it somehow. I think I read the summary beforehand.
Because I was like, oh, this is a cute little like lesbian moment. And then I was like, oh no, they're sisters.
I didn't know which way they were going to go with it, but seeing as it was a Disney film, I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's sisters. Because at first it was like, oh wow, like, you know, they were so like
enamored,
enchanted with each other. They're like, oh, and then it was like, yeah, sisters, because it's Disney and they're not going to do lesbian fairies.
No, they definitely wouldn't. But I was like, oh, the fan fiction that's probably out there. And then I was like, I don't. Right. I hope there's not. Hope there's not.
Her and Vita. Vita was like concerned about Tink.
Yeah, that's true.
Her and Vita,
yeah. We're shipping them. Okay, well, Bri, where can people find us online if they wish to talk about fairies?
If you want to chat with us about fairies, go to
and tell us about the wings.
Tell us the wing
really
DNA.
Vanessa.
Honestly, I feel like Vanessa, you just need to get Twitter so you can talk about fairy wing DNA.
No, that's too
much
like
for Vanessa, me. Like the Charlie Day gif with the board.
Yes. Now I just want to Photoshop that picture. But yeah, go to the geekywaffle.com. That's where we house our blogs and our podcast. And, you can find us on every platform, Spotify, iTunes, more that I don't even know exist. They're out there. Twitter, geeky_waffle. Tweet us because we have to get your messages about the fairy DNA to Vanessa.
Yes, please. Not even the DNA. I'm just more talking about the sparkling at this point. I still haven't figured that one out.
I thought I had to do something with like the Northern Lights, but I was wrong.
We didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about the fact that they have healing powers, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so much in this short movie.
That's right.
Well, anyway, yeah.
They healed
Find us at geekywaffle.com. Check out our other shows because we are a network now, y'all.
Yes. And also we have a Patreon. And for $1, you can join our Discord group, and we're going to do like monthly movie watching. So maybe we'll throw on a Tinkerbell movie for you guys.
Oh God, no, that's not really a selling point. But you know what? I feel like the three of us, there's something else I want to discuss. Mm-hmm. So we're going to save that for our Patreon. So I think I want to talk more about the fairies and romance.
And Sled.
Like
yeah.
Yeah. So so go to patreon.com/thegeekywaffle to hear that.
Yes.
Okay, so we hope you all have a happily ever after until you find your long lost sister and she's like cold and stuff.
What?